Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for Halatali, the 5th dungeon you may encounter in Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. My name is Ms. Tech, and I'll be your dungeon guide. While completing the dungeon is not necessary to progress in your storyline, you unlock this instance at around the same time you unlock the 1000 Maws of Totorak. Personally, I did Halatali after Totorak and made the videos in the same order. Some people may queue into this one first though. Halatali is an ancient coliseum, now in ruins and overrun by nasty monsters. The Immortal Flames are asking for your help to clear out the coliseum, and how can you say no? There are the usual nooks and crannies that contain chests and lots of trash pulls in between each objective, yielding quite a bit of experience. The difficulty of the trash pulls lies mainly in the number of mobs you have to pull at once. Remember to use your signs effectively if you are having trouble. Our first objective is to clear the Hall of the Cesti. We accomplish this by destroying the first boss, Firemain. Now, you'll notice Firemain is standing next to a large bonfire, which is a little weird because he's made of fire himself. It's not like he needs to keep warm, right? Firemain is a stationary boss that uses ranged fire attacks on his primary target. You may be able to move him by line of sighting him around a corner, but it wasn't imperative enough for me to try, so I don't know. The main mechanic here is handling the fire wisps that come from the tunnels surrounding the rooms. Since everything in this room is a lovely shade of orange, it's a little easier if you use the mini-map to see where they're coming from. They come up as obvious red dots there. If these wisps make it to the bonfire, they explode, resulting in a fair amount of AoE damage to the party. Letting one or two in shouldn't cause too much hassle for the healer, but if a bunch are let in at once, the damage might get too much to handle. The wisps also have very low health. Most range I've seen are able to one-shot them. It's just a matter of keeping on top of them before they overwhelm you. Once Firemain is down, his bonfire turns into an Aether portal, which you use to continue on. In this part of the instance, you will come across a number of chain winches. Tugging on these will spawn either one mob, a group of mobs, or a treasure chest. From what I've seen, it's completely random. This is the next objective, so don't wuss out thinking you can skip killing extra mobs. The next boss is a thing called Thunderclap Grieg. He has a frontal cone that is easily avoided. I'm also taking him on the base of the ramp for a specific reason. Throughout the fight, he will become invulnerable and run to the center of the room, electrifying the water covering the majority of the room. Standing in the room does damage over time, about 96 or so a tick, so it's best if the entire party stands on the ramp during this phase. While the water is electrified, the boss will send out a group of ads that must be killed before he returns to fight. These lightning sprites have a point-blank AoE, so just be quick to move out of the way. It may get a little crowded, a little hectic on the ramp, but it is manageable. That's pretty much the deal with this boss. Rinse, repeat, collect loot. An Aether Flow will open in the center of the room that will take you to the last part of Halatali. You'll come across the room that has a suspicious red circle with a tempting treasure chest in the middle. Obviously stepping on it spawns an ad. It would be more surprising if nothing happened. Why don't they ever do that? The ad that spawns can't even be considered mini-boss level. He's just annoying and in the way. The last boss is Tangata. This fight borrows mechanics from the first two fights you've seen already. In the first phase, he becomes invulnerable and begins to spawn fire wisps. If the wisps get to him, they'll explode and AoE the party. But we've had plenty of practice already, so everyone is pro. I'm assuming the puddle of fire around him does damage as well, but I didn't test it out. Something about fire puddles makes me want to stay away. He also has the same frontal cone that the second boss had, so naturally don't stand in front of him. As you progress, he'll begin to start spawning ads. They have low health and can be easily dealt with in between the waves of wisps. Once he hits 50%, things change a little bit. He gets the same fiery gloves of doom again, only this time he's not invulnerable and can move around while he summons those wisps. As the wisps spawn from all over the room, it might be worth moving him to the center. I kept him near one of the walls so I didn't force the rest of the party to have to deal with his frontal cone if that came up. It's completely up to you. Ta-da! There it is. Halatali. Questions? Leave them in the comments below and I'll answer as best as I can. Thanks for watching. Till next time.